This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So, last session we were discussing about the Azure pipelines, right? So, if there is any tag created, then only the pipeline should run. So that's what we discussed, and of course, the pipeline also supporting that particular feature. So we just made it for our, front end. And so if I go to the repos and your front end, and here, so we are just making only if there is a tag. Okay, so just run this particular one, and the steps were not doing much, but basically we just understood, like, if there is any tag is created, yeah, so our pipeline is running. So now why we came to this particular one, so let's go back to the actual topic we were discussing. So we are actually trying to download the files with download with call, but actually no one really downloads the source code into the servers. Okay, so they actually try to keep the compiled code into the servers. Okay, so that is the reason. So we need to compile, and we need to keep the compiled one in certain place. Okay, so we need to keep the compiled one in certain place, and so we'll be downloading from that particular place. Okay, and that particular place, now here we are going to talk about, so that particular place we're going to talk with, uh, we're going to talk is Azure artifacts. So here we have Azure artifacts, and we're going to use it. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, Azure artifacts. All right, so we need to create some artifacts and we need to publish it over here. So my front end, I'll be publishing it here, and I'll be downloading it from here, and this is the right path. And if I go to the artifact, so here it has an option to, so mark a particular one as a mark a particular one to be released to the production, or pre-production, or the dev. Basically, you can mark your artifact so that it is actually a dev artifact. So that means the artifact which is made, which is for development, or the artifact which is made, which is for production. Okay, production will only download the production. So try to understand the life cycle of the product. The life cycle of the product is, it always develop in the, the product always develops in the lower environments, which is the dev environments, and the production should not download the latest code. Dev should download the latest code. Prod should never download the latest code. So that's the context. Okay, so prod should never download the latest content. Prod only downloads the last stable content, but dev should download the latest content. So how do you make that particular mechanism working basically here? Okay, so that also is possible with Azure artifacts out of box. To put a lot of brain around there, they provide it out of box. Okay, so that's something which we have. Okay, now we are going to take the artifacts and we're going to keep the artifact here. So why I'm calling it as an artifact is basically, it has been made. Okay, so that's the reason we call it as simply artifact, and so made through a pipeline basically. All right, now, so my front end is really not having any kind of a compiled code, because it's a Node.js related code, and it's a scripting code. So that's the reason you don't require any compilation. But I wanted to, take something from the code and I want to upload it here. So how do I do that? So first of all, I have to go to here and I want to create a feed. So ensure that your feed name is all in small characters, DevOps 53. Okay, and actually visibility is public. If you want, you can make it, or if you want to download, it's also fine. Or if you want to keep it private, is also fine. But this is a public project, so that's where the visibility becomes public by default. So that's fine. Let's create it. Okay, all right. And the next thing is, here connect to feed is what you have. So just click on connect to feed, and I want to use directly the universal artifacts. Where is universal connect to feed? Yeah, so here is the universal packages. So you click on the universal packages and it provides an option like, so how do you put a universal? So what is universal is, so if you are making a Maven project, you put it Maven. If you are making Gradle code, if it is Gradle, Python, actually like this. Or universal means it can be anything. It doesn't really matter. So that's the reason I'm going to universal rather than going in individual, because so Maven code is there, which is fine. NPM is also there, and what is our either one, Python. So but actually our Python is not compatible with this, I think. So we'll face challenges. Rather than that, I'll just use universal direct one, and I will publish it over here. Okay, so yeah, it is telling that you can download it like this. So first let me go to my workstation. CD1 do ls and cd, and what I'm doing, this one, right? So agent extension hyphen name. So first of all, do you have agent? No, agent itself is not there. So how do I get the agent? Agent CLI download. So if you go to the Linux one and you go to the RHEL, this one, and you just run these commands. Sudo. Okay, and also there is another package which you have to install is libicu. This also is needed, but later it will throw you an error. But yeah, I just install this. Fine, cool. And now go back to this one and you add this extension. Okay, the extension is added, and the next one is you just give agent login. Okay, no, not agent login. Sorry, agent DevOps login, because you are using Azure DevOps, right? So it asks for the token. Okay, and you get the token from the your account. Okay, so once you register your account, so you'll be going to here and go to the personal access token. You can see here, click on that, and you will be having some token. So I will just say that the 53 token, and I will give the full access to this. Okay, not particularly something. I'll go for 90-day access and just click on create, and I have this token. Okay, done. So this is just a warning message. It's not a real failure. It's a warning message. Cool, and that's done. So now what is the next thing? What we can do is, so once you do this, let's go back to the Azure DevOps 53 artifacts and connect to feed universal. Now what all the package you want to push it, you can push it with this. Okay, so for an example, mkdir sample, so cd sample and attach one.txt file, and I just paste the command. And over here is this is name, yeah, and you can see the so the package name. So package name I want to give it like so sample. Okay, so now just take this. This is download. My bad. So to publish the artifact, so agent artifacts universal publish, agent artifacts universal publish, and organization is still same and things like that is still same, and yeah, so everything is almost same. So just take this and put it over here. So this is the command line. So but we are going to put this in Azure pipelines. Okay, cool. It's been published. It was really slow. I don't know, but yeah, but it was really slow. Now you go to the artifacts, you will see sample, okay, which is got published. You go inside the sample, so you go to the versions. What are the versions which are which are published? This one, and this is the latest version, right? But actually, if production need to download this, so then what you can do is if you click on this, you get a promote option. So promote will say that it is promoting to pre-release. Okay, you promote to that. So it is promoted to pre-release. So that means after day, what are the next environment you have? It will go to that environment, and after that, so you promote it once again, and you just say promote. Okay, so now it is actually promoted to this one. So now your Azure artifacts download, so whatever the way you do that, the connector feed. So if you go to the universal artifacts, now here you're going to have some options around this to specify that you can download a particular um, you can download a particular artifact. If it is a dev environment, I'm going to download the if it is a dev environment, I'm going to download um, the latest code, and whereas if it is a prod environment, I'm going to download the so a little bit old code which is promoted. Basically it can be latest one, but wherever it is promoted, okay, this is being marked as a release, and so that particular code we are going to have. But how do you actually in organizations, so how do you mark the release and things like that? I'll talk about that in later sessions, but for now you just understand this. So this much is fine. All right, now I want to do the same thing with my a pipeline as well. So I will go to the RS front end, and I will say that if you click on edit the pipeline, so it automatically loads the pipeline. All right. Now what I wanted to do is I just wanted to upload artifacts, right? So I will just say here universal packages. Universal packages you want to download or publish? I want to publish. You are giving that information just in a you're giving that information just in a YAML format, and that YAML format is also can be made directly from the UI by giving the options. All right. Now you can see this organization collection and destination feed is actually going to be feed we created is DevOps 53, and the package name, yeah, if you want to give some this name, or else I will say that this is front end. I'll give my own name, and so the version number, how do you give is next patch. So that means currently the version is 0.0.1. The next patch is going to be 0.0.2, 0.0.3, 0.0.4, like that you're going to have, and you're going to add them. Now what happens is it's actually going to publish the artifacts. So it is going to publish the artifacts. All right, so now click on save. So run the pipeline. So it will not run. Why? Because if the tag is created, then only it will run. Okay, publish the artifact. Now you go to the artifacts. Now you will see the front end. Yeah, just took a little bit time. Now you got the front end, right? So now you go to the front end and you can download this particular artifact. So now if I say that, so yes, rm-f1.txt file, and if I paste that particular command, it's just gonna download the code, and downloaded code, whatever you're going to have is whatever you have it in the repos. So previously you're actually downloading this particular code using the curl command. Now you are actually putting it to artifacts, and you're downloading it from artifacts, and you do ls actually you didn't got anything. So why? Because the pipeline is not set properly. Go inside rs front end, click on edit. I think you have to give star /* something. So okay, staging directory. So rather than staging directory, I will see you here sources directory. So these are the some of the inbuilt variables that Azure DevOps has. Okay, so yeah, we can refer that particular documentation to get it, or let me show you that. So Azure DevOps pipelines variables. If you go there, so you can just go for use predefined variables. So what are the predefined variables which you have? So here are the different variables. Now you have build dot staging directory, right? So this is the directory, but this directory is something after you compile, you get it into this location. But actually my code is going to be in my sources. So I'm downloading the code. It's gonna be under some sources. Yeah, you can see this. Yeah, you can see this build sources directory. So this is what I'm using. So that's where it actually take all the code in the source directory. So which is actually downloading the repos. And yeah. So there is an error now. Let me quickly go here. Repos. Okay, and I come back. I will add it once again. I will say that it is universal and is actually publish. It's actually going to be this artifact sources directory. Build.sources directory. There's no artifact.sources directory. That's the error. So it's actually build sources directory or build dot sources directory. That's it. Build.sources directory, and so the feed is actually going to be is 53, and it's actually front end. So okay, now it publishes the artifacts. Go to the artifacts. Go to the front end. Now you see automatically 0.0.2 0.0.2 version is there. Okay, so now if I go and try to download, it's actually which version I'm saying 0.0.2. Okay, so you download the second version and you can see this. This is having those particular files. Or in this one, so we don't require this file and you don't require this file. So you want to control that. Yes, you can control that also. So how do I control is I'm just going to go and say that, here, so let's go to the pipelines, suppose our pipelines is fine. Go to the pipelines, go to this, click on edit. So here the task is going to be is shell script 2. Okay, script is this, display name is this. Why do I worry here? So I can go here and I'll say that bash. So I want to execute a bash shell and I want to give some commands here. So, or the commands I want to give here is I want to go for mkdir. I want to go for mkdir publish and cp -r static directory and localhost.conf file to publish directory. Okay, and yeah, so just click on add. It's actually adding this. So task is this one, target type inline, this is fine. Okay, and now what is the content I want to put is publish. Okay, Okay, so now it is being published. Now let's go here. Look into the front end. You got 0.0.3. So now I'll just do RMF and RF for star I'm reviewing, and I'll just download the 0.0.3 version. Okay, cool. And now you do ls. You get only those files. You just copied certain content to a directory, and you're telling only that directory only to take it up. You're getting only that much content. So you don't require unnecessary files to be putting it into the servers, and I'm not getting them. Okay, so that's the idea basically. All right. Now you should get a question. You're not compiling anything. You're just copying the code and you're putting it there. So why don't you use a curl command directly? So the point is still same, right? So this code is actually a static content. Okay, so this is a website content, and this is written on Node.js. Okay, either it can be AngularJS or something. Okay, so this cannot be compiled basically. So if it is only a compiled code, then you compile and you publish the artifact here. So for an example, you have some front end, artifact there. So not front end, shipping artifact, shipping you have. So that one you kind of so I mean that you kind of what we call what I mean to say, like yeah, so you we kind of so what we call compile the code and publish only that particular artifact out there. So this is the point. Okay, so I want to add a little bit more so little bit more complexity to this. Okay, not complexity, the real use case to this kind of scenario. Now what I wanted to say is, see so you whenever, let me just put this diagram. So now here whenever the dev commit the code, okay, whenever the code change, okay, so what we need to do is we need to make some CI activities. Okay, that's what I mentioned. And when he creates, it's a commit. Okay, when he creates some tag, okay, then what happens? CI plus artifact also should make it. We need to make the artifact also. This is what we're actually trying to achieve here. So this is what we're trying to achieve. All right, so now this is happening fine. So whenever there's a tag is happening, the pipeline is getting triggered, but the artifact, okay, is actually also getting created. So now I need to control this little bit. I want to check it out. Is there any kind of options which are available? Is there any kind of options which are available to deal with this in my pipeline? My point is, for every commit the CI should happen. Okay, and only for tagging the artifact should happen. Okay, how does it happen? Let's see. So hope I'm not confusing too much. Yeah, so let's go to the pipeline, and I wanted to go with this pipeline documentation reference once again. Now previously you had given this particular so trigger I mean you have given the trigger is for so the whole pipeline basically. Now I want to make this particular trigger if only on a task level. Is that possible or not possible? I want to check it out. Okay, so if the trigger is possible on the steps on this task level also, let's see. So trigger section is there. So in the main section they are given this some example, and a PR trigger, which is also fine. Schedule trigger, you have schedules. and you have some example schedules and a pipeline trigger. You have I don't think so. Huh. So in that particular case, I want to use some kind of conditions. Okay. So I want to use some expressions basically. So the next section I want to come to here is an expression. In the expression, so what is actually it is trying to tell. Okay. So the task and the condition and the expression. Okay. So we need to build some expression and we need to validate that if it is a okay, I'll just take a look once. I will just go here and I will say that trigger and I will say master or main or I think master, which is fine. So just click on save. So I go to the pipeline. So the pipeline automatically got triggered. Okay. So over here, I just want to edit this. I want to put some environment variables and I want to see the variables which is related to a tag, and without a tag, what are the variables and its difference. Let's see, pipelines. And also another thing, so you need to edit this particular code, the YAML schema. So we want to run this pipeline in two cases. What are the two cases? One case is the code is pushed automatically, we have to do that. Okay. And also if the tags is also created, in that case also I have to do that. So okay, so that's the reason I'll come here and I will put it in such a way that okay, so include, actually we are giving some star it worked, so that means all the branches it has to work, and also all the tags also it has to work. Okay, so this is the information we are going to give now. So if any tag is created, it has to work, and if there is any branch, also branch change, that means master is also a branch. If main code also is submitted, also we have to run this particular one. So yeah, now you see this. Another one also is still running. So here it is actually showing bash. I'm not quite comfortable with this. I go to the pipeline, I go inside here, and I'll click on edit. So there is a parameter you can specify here is display name. Display name is just some command, and here also it is actually display name is prepare artifacts, and here is display name is publish artifacts. Okay, so this also inside the job. Now you see this environment command, prepare artifacts, publish artifacts, so that the name will be a little bit helpful in understanding what it is. Okay, cool. So now you go to the environment. So now you go for a tag. So you don't have any kind of tag here. Okay, fine. So in that particular case, I will just go and give, or I'll just go and create a tag. Okay, so let's cd repos citd 53 Okay, RoboShop project ls cd rs-println git space pull. There are a lot of changes happen, so I just pull the change, and the git pull, the origin is master, so we pull the changes and DevOps pipeline.yaml. So this is what you have. Yeah. So now I just want to go and so make some change. Doesn't really matter. Some change. So add one more hash. So now git add -a, and now the tag I want to give is like, let's say v1 and git push tags. Okay, so git space push and git space push origin header master. So you push the code as well. So now you see this, your pipeline got automatically triggered. So this got triggered because of the tag v1. Okay, so this got the normal change and it got triggered as well. All right, so you created a tag and push the tag, and that's where you got this. Okay, so now if I go inside this, so you are going to publish now environment command. So this is because of the tag, and now the tag information where you are going to get the AG. So you see this remote source branch is having tags. So build underscore remote okay, build underscore source branch is something we can use. Okay, v1, if I search for exactly, if I search for v1, because I created a tag v1, so here you have t1 source branch. So source branch name, okay, build underscore source branch name. Now the same thing, the same variable, I'm going to go for the normal one, the normal commit. Okay, go to the job and I will say so prepare or environment. So I will search for this particular value. So here it is master. Now I want to take this, I want to use this expression. Okay, I want to make a condition based on this expression saying that, hey, if my branch name is not equal to master, then only you publish the artifact. Or if it is or else, like, let's say you can just go for other way also. If it is equal to tag, okay, so let's search for exactly tag something. So is there any keyword which is related to, let me open pipeline, another window. Let's start just side by side comparison. Environment, okay, I go here and environmental, yeah. So this is the tagged one. So now here I'll search for v1. So source branch is ref/tag/v1. Okay, branch name is v1 and tags v1, branch source name. So that's the only variable which you have. Okay, so now tag, if I search for I don't see something. Okay, all right, so that means if my I need to build my expression now. So I have to go to my expressions. Now I have to put a condition now. So what is the condition I want to keep? It is I want to do something. So this is the what I want to do. Now what you're doing is, if okay, so no, I want to make some expression, something like this. So here I would like to make something like expression. Where are the examples? Yeah, so something like this I want to make it, but I'm just looking for a string comparison. Yeah, so this is the simple condition I can make it. Okay, so equal to, okay, So this particular variable, if it is equal to true, okay, that's what it is checking. Okay, and so now in our case, so what I wanted to do is contains, so something is there, so contain string contains. So evaluates true if the left parameter string contains a right side parameters. Okay, minimum parameters is 2 and maximum as things. Okay, contains ABCD and BCD. Okay, so that means actually so this value is going to compare with this value, returns true. All right, so now my expression is going to be this. My expression, this is my expression. So here I would like to go to the pipeline. Go here, click on edit. I want to run this only in the case of condition. Okay, so contains. So now here you have to give the source variable. So where you are going to have the data. So you need to have inside a variable. So how do you get the variable? So let's see this. Okay, so let's see more examples. Now here variables of something like this. Okay, so variables of this. All right, go here, this one, variables of build source branch, is that correct? So variables of, what is the variable we are looking for? We are looking for v1. So build dot source branch name. Build dot source branch branch name, I think. Okay, so I have to use this, and if it is so if it is having, so something like so something like ref slash tags. Okay, so if it contains the source branch name contains ref slash tags, then you run this. Okay, so that's what I'm telling. Let's see. Save pipelines. It automatically ran because you committed the code, you made some change, you went to the pipeline, you made some change. That's a code change actually. And this will run, but I'm expecting my publish artifact to be skipped now because I didn't create any tags, right? Perfect. So my publish artifacts is being skipped because it's master, it's not really equal to ref tags. Okay, so here that's the scenario. Okay, now I will go and say that so git space pull and git space pull origin master. Okay, now I will say that git tag git a tag v2 and git space push icon tags. You push the tag. Now the tag is created. So since the tag is created, I'm expecting the pipeline to trigger. You see this? The pipeline got triggered because the v2 tag is created. Okay, so you go inside that. Now I'm expecting publish artifacts also to run, but publish artifacts here also it is not running. So that means it is something wrong. Okay, so that means I will just tune it a little bit more, and I will say here pipeline, go inside the pipeline, edit. Might be we have some special characters, so that's the reason it might be something. So I will say like so contains tags, I will keep it. Okay, only tags. All right, so I will just take a look now. Okay, so one ran, and now git space pull legend master git space. Let me tag this as v3 and git space push icon tags. Now it will run once again. No, something is wrong. So actually you're getting, okay, okay. V3 you're getting and tags you're getting here. Okay, so source branch name I'm giving. All right. So source branch name is not what I'm looking. Okay, so source branch we should look, not branch name. That's my mistake. Not branch name, it's just the branch. That's the wrong condition I made it. All right, got it. So I will just go here and edit this, and I think so source branch, just branch. Source branch contains tags, then that's fine. Git space pull tag before push it. And this is for v4. Go there. Now you see this publish artifacts is happening. Okay, just before to this, there was a commit happened. Okay, just before to this, there's a commit happened, and this here the publish artifacts is skipping. Okay, now the point over here, the whole point I want to make is, see, for every commit you can make a release. If that is a process you're going to approach, that's fine. I don't mind. But let's say every commit actually going as an artifact out there, so which requires which requires a lot of artifacts to be storing, okay, unnecessarily. Okay, there are a lot of artifacts which is storing out there, and you don't have any control on the numbers as well. So rather than that, if you come to the tags, from the tags, git tags, when you say that I want to mark it as a release, so that time only it will go on after the CI, it will publish the it will publish the artifact. Okay, or in fact, okay, I just want to follow the numbers as well. Okay, now let's say I want to here I am actually going to take the the publish artifacts also. I'm actually going to take it as like, let's say you see this, edit. Now your tag has to be something like this. Now what is the version patch you're giving is this one, right? So now instead of this, I will say here you will be using something like this, and I'm going to put a variable. Okay, so what is a variable I'm going to keep here? Build dot source branch name. Okay, that's it. So now whatever the tag I want to whatever the tag I made it on the git side, the same tag actually goes and so put it as a version to the Azure artifacts as well. Okay, so save, and if I go to the pipelines, this will anyhow skip the this one. So now git space pull master. Now there is one problem we have. Let me show you what is the problem. If I go for a v5 and hit enter, this is going to be a failure. Let's see. So for v5 this got triggered. Now you go there. Now publish artifacts is going to be a failure. Why it is going to be a failure? You see this. Yeah. So that's a failure. So what is a failure? It failures because fail to get the package versions basically. Okay. So what actually you're getting there is, so you gave some version number which is not aligning to the Azure artifacts. Azure artifacts for sure it expects a number which is something like 0.0. something. Okay. Now what is the tag you can use? 0.0.11. You can start from 11. Okay. So now 0.0.11, push the tag. Since you push the tag, pipeline will run. Now I expect that 0.0.1 will be replaced in the version number, and it will be taken. So still it is a failing. So I think, so we need to just tune this a little bit more. I will just go here and go, no, edit the pipeline. So here you're actually, let me go with another task and say that, so universal packages, and you want to publish the artifact, and actually it's going to be search brand slash publish. Okay, and this is actually going to be 53. This is actually going to be a front end, and actually you are going to go with a custom one. So version number is actually going to be a custom one. So for the custom version, select the custom version package name, so which is going to be the branch name. Okay, so click on add. So this is what happened. Okay, version option, instead of version option has to be custom, and version publish has to be this number. Okay, that's the change actually. And the display name is actually going to be same, and publish artifacts, and you remove the old one. Okay, so this is what you have. All right, so now you're going to take the custom name and you run it. So save it, and master origin, and I'll go and say that, so I'll go for 12 version. So this is for version 12. Let it wait. Yeah, it picked it up. So you can see this front end version 0.0.12. I go to the artifacts and you go to the front end, go to the versions, you see this 0.0.12. Now the developer, whatever actually is marked as a version number, the same will be taken by the my whole process basically. Okay, so starts with the CI, and now whenever I want to download it from the server, I'll publish this particular version only, and I mean I'll just download this version. But how do I come to know what is this version? So I will just go and use my Azure, so CLI or Azure Artifact CLI, whatever I have here, and I will so control this with this particular number. So now if I say that 12, you just download the 12 version there. Okay, so this is how the whole the process is going to be. Okay, so now on the left side, so you just try to understand. So these are the two sides, two faces it has. So on the left side, this is how it went. So where is this? Yeah, so this has two sides basically. Okay, so or even in fact even saying the three sides are, yeah, are two sides, like let's say. So dev side, even the consider actually the CI side also, you have some version. Okay, so you have some versions on the CD deployment side also. I'll be having some versions to download them. Okay, and how do you maintain the relation? So now these versions actually you need to download. So that basically if it is a dev environment, you need to download some certain version. If it is a prod environment, you need to download certain version. So how do you do that? Now this side you are clear, right? So the dev side, the git, you are going to have some commit, and you're going to take that particular I mean, rather than commit, I would say it's a tag. You just take a tag, git tag, and you just take that particular one, and git tag, and you take that particular tag and you put it on inside your artifact. So this is what you have done. So this is fine. Now from the artifact, you're actually going to download. So how do I download? For dev, how do you download? For prod, how do you download? How do you mark the release? That is another thing I had to do. So this is a little logical work you have to do. It's not very straightforward because Azure DevOps, I don't know. So they are yet to enhance, or they just stop their. I think yet to enhance, I would say. This is a new product, by the way. So yet to enhance their logic for us to down. I mean, on the artifact side, they're actually giving, so they are giving, so the promote option and all. But actually, on the download side, they are not giving it. That's a little sad, but yeah, I can do some workaround. I can use my logical statements, and I can do that. That's not a big deal. Okay, so now let's go and see this. How do we do that? But before do that, any questions, any confusions on the approach, what I have made it so far? Everyone has to be clear on this particular process. I just deleted everything because this was too much size. So because they provide a very limited size actually, recycle bin, if I go there, yeah, so recycle bin, I permanently mark this as permanently delete. It just consumes for some size. Okay, so because I'm using other batches as well, so I don't want to delete latest. Yeah, all it been deleted. So recycle bin, let me delete this also, permanently delete. So this just consumes some size every time, and I have a limited size of 2 GB only. Okay, I'll be having, if I go to the organization settings, if I go to the repos, not repos, artifacts, storage, I will be having a very limited space. So yeah, so the packages is consuming 0.17 GB. I think they provide 2 GB or something. Okay, so I break down, and yeah, so this is DevOps 52 is using 0.17 GB, not our batch. All right, cool. Let's go back. That's what I wanted to be very careful about the size, number of artifacts which goes there. Okay. All right, and I'll just go to now I can just say that git tag 0 dot and 0 dot 13 and push it. That's fine. Push it, and 30, so 14 also push it. Let's say these are the two versions which I have, and your pipelines would be running by this time by 13 and 14. Yeah. Okay, so now I have two artifacts now. So one I am going to use. Okay, so one I am going to use as a dev version, and other one I want to use as a production version. Okay, so this is what you have, two versions. Also, I'll make another version as well, but with some modifications. So we need that MD file. So I will just say that. So 0.0.15 version. Okay, so 7 quit. So sorry. Mm. Hmm. Forget about that. That's a bit of confusion. So now I'll make readme.md file. So I'll say 0.0.15. I'm making some change and push it, and git space tag. I want to put it as a 15 version. So some difference, some small difference. That's it. Nothing more than that. Okay. So this triggers a pipeline as well for 0.0.15, and as well as master push as well. Okay, so that will publish the artifact. So that's fine. Now come to the server side. So now if you can give the a particular version number, but I don't want to give the particularly version number, because giving the version number is going to break my automation, because it requires a manual intervention. So I don't want to manually, I don't want to manually give the version. It has to pick the latest version which is out there. In the dev, it always has to pick the latest version, and in the prod it has to pick the latest version which is marked as a prod. Okay, so that means I'll go to the artifacts and I will go to the front end. So I will just promote only 13 version to the latest one. So I will say promote, and I'll just promote to directly to the production. So this is marked as a release, so that means it is actually for production. For these two are dev releases. That means if I say dev, it has to download this. If it is a dev environment, it has to download this. It's a prod environment, it has to download this. So how do I make this? How do I make this? The same command only, but we have to write some wrapper on top of that. Okay, how to make it? Some logic needs to be implemented. So how do I do that? First of all, aged, I'll go for artifacts, universal. So I just want to go with, is there only download and publish option? Is there anything else more is available? Okay, so I will just give, I'll see this only download and publish option is there. I don't have anything else. Aged artifacts universal, I don't have a list option. At least to list, I don't have anything. So if the list would have been there, then it would have been really great. But the list was not there. So then, yeah. So what I have to do now? So I should be Azure hyphen something. Someone Venkatesh.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I just want to go with Azure DevOps. It's only this much, huh? So cat.azure, inside that what I have, we have given one token, right? If you remember. So I'm just finding out that particular token. So where can I find that particular token? Is there anywhere a token? Personal access tokens. So I have one token. So I just use the same token to download the code. Okay. Yeah, token is there. So rather than generating one more, I have already the token, which is cool. Now I wanted to do is, I don't have the CLI to get the content, but I have Azure. I have. So CLI, I don't have the content, but Azure, I have Azure DevOps or Azure API, basically Azure DevOps API we have. So API, REST API is available. So where I can go ahead and, so find out what I want. So basically what I want, the information about the artifacts. Okay. So is that I am looking for artifact details, get package versions. Okay. Get package version to get a particular version. Get package versions is to get all the package versions. Okay. This is what I'm looking for. And I'm just going to take this particular command and I'll just modify it. Okay, so how does it look like? So this is the one. Sorry, some noise. The organization. So the organization name is actually going to be DevOps-batches. So my organization name is DevOps-batches. And what is my project name? Its project name is DevOps 53, right? And hyphen APS packaging feeds and the feed ID. So the feed ID, how do I get the feed ID? So feed ID, you're getting it somewhere from already from here. Or you go to the code, this is the feed ID. This is the feed ID. This is the feed ID. Okay. So, or else you have to execute another command to get the feed ID. Okay. To get the list of feeds. All right. So this is the one. And the next one you have is the package ID. So the package ID, or let's refer the documentation. See, rather than just taking it something from the air, I will just go with the documentation, and the documentation is this. Now you see this feed ID. So what is feed ID? Name or ID of the feed. So name is also fine here. So the feed ID, rather than giving a long one, you can give also like friend end. Okay, you can give that. Now organization, the name of the organization, package ID, the ID of the package, GUID only, not name. The package ID, how do I get the package ID? I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. So then first of all, so what I have to do is, rather than getting the package versions, I want to get the package IDs, right? I'm looking for. I'll go for get packages. First, I'll run this command. Okay, so just take this and the organization, just take this and replace it here, and the project. So project, can you give the name, or it's only again the project ID, or project name is fine? Okay, so that's where I can give DevOps 53 and the feed ID. So feed ID and the feed ID. Okay, the feed ID is not actually the front end, it's actually DevOps 53. What's the feed name, by the way? Go here. So the feed name is DevOps 53. And in that case, package ID is the other ID. That's okay. So this is the one I'm looking for. So I have to give a call to this one. So see URL to this one. It will not give you the information because there is no authentication available, or even it's a public, it's giving. Okay, cool. So JQ entered. So actually I'm converting into a JSON format and I'm getting it JQ. So now here, what is my package ID? So you can see that information now. This is the package and its ID. So what is the name? Front end and its ID is this one. So you get that information from here. Okay, cool. And I'm that particular case, I am going to give this much. Okay, so let me take this then. And now if I just give curl and give this. So what it is telling is the feed with ID front end doesn't exist. Of course, it's not front end. It's actually DevOps 53. Now it brings a lot of information that what it has. So pipe JQ. Okay, so now it is bringing all the information, even the deleted information also it is getting. That's a sad thing. Yeah, but whatever it is, that's okay. It has the cache somewhere, and that's the reason it is actually bringing everything. Now what I'm looking out of this is I am looking for the versions basically. Okay, so now what I wanted to get here is inside this I'm having some value. Okay, so inside value, where do I get the versions? Inside the value, you are having dot version. Okay, and inside the version, you are going to have so this is the name is local, and whereas the others, which is 13 version, which I promoted, right, if you remember. So here 15 version, you have only local version. That means this is a latest version, no promotion to that. And 14 also have no promotion. Whereas you come to the 13, you will see two things. You see this? You have local and you have release. This is the local and you have release. This is what I want to catch it. This is what I want to catch it. But how do I catch this? Okay, I need to tune this particular JQ output. So inside this, I want to go for dot value dot views. Okay, so JQ dot value, it's a list dot views. VIEWS. So this is what I'm getting. But actually, additional to this, I require the version number. So if the version number is not there, there's no point actually. And I have to get dot version. Okay, so first I have to get dot version and plus plus, and I have to give so space in between, and I want to get that there is an error. Okay. Oh, okay. So here actually going to be okay. So inside values you need to get it. Okay, so both are inside value. So first I have to take the value, and inside that pipe I want to get a dot version, and then dot use. Still getting compiler error. I think I have to give plus plus now. Okay, my knowledge is not fine. Let me find it out from the internet, or even I have something from my previous batch as well. I can just use this. So I will just go for DevOps 52 repos. Common Azure artifacts. Yeah, so JQ, this one. This is what I did it in the JQ side. So JQ dot value inside that pipe, I'm getting dot version okay plus views of name. All right. That's still same, right? So plus space I have given, I don't know. Previously also I have given the same thing. Okay, fine. So now you're getting this one. So now out of this, I'm going to say that grep for release and pipe head -1, which is going to be the latest version of release. Okay. Which is going to be the latest version of release. So you're going to get 13 version out of this. So again, I'll go for xargs. Okay, and pipe awk. Take the first print $1. That xargs will remove that quotes, and this $1 is actually getting the first argument. Okay, so this is the catch basically. So now I want to put these particular commands inside my Ansible, and I want to tell to my Ansible that so grab the version. So answer to the Ansible, you're passing the environment, isn't it? You're passing the environment, and in the environment you're going to say that so it is a dev or it is a prod. Okay, so if it is a dev, you download the latest local one. You just put local instead of release and take the latest version. If it is prod, search for release, or you want to have another environment, there's a pre-release support also is there, and you can do that. I don't think so like Azure DevOps doesn't support any more other environments. Like let's say you want to put so in your company you have 4 environments, and if you want to put Azure artifacts to 4 environments, I don't think so they don't support that at least. Okay, the promote is very limited actually here, so giving only this much, or even I'm not quite sure is there any options also. Need to take a look. But yeah, so we'll so we understood the whole process, right? Let's come back to this. On the deployment side also, we know that how do we find out the appropriate version. So now all I need to do is I need to stabilize my Ansible to pull the appropriate versions and okay, deploy it. That's what you have. And yeah, so once you do that, so we'll go back to the Terraform. We're setting up the environment completely with the Terraform. So now you say the environment and it downloads the appropriate versions and you do the things. So that's how it is. Okay, so that's how the whole process goes now. All right, so yeah, I think mostly for this session, at least this much. That's all we have in this version. So any questions? Okay, all right. And if no questions, our next session is going to be on 18th. Okay, so on 18th, we are going to have the next session because of the festival we already discussed. So the next 3 days will not be having any sessions and we'll meet back on, yeah, 18th. So yeah, that's all from my side. Any questions? Okay, all right, no questions. We'll meet in tomorrow session, not tomorrow, next session. Okay, bye, good day, good night.